It's absolutely amazing just how many awesome gacha games got released during this year, so we're very excited to share with you what we believe to be the best gacha games that came out in 2020 so far. You could say that Arknights is the black sheep of gacha games. While the majority of developers are busy churning out turn-based strategy games, Arknights took a completely different approach by instead creating one of the most successful tower defense games on the market. Although creating a game that's more different than others is not enough. Arknights features include a beautiful yet simple user interface, a special recruitment system for characters, where in addition to the gacha, you can scout for the talent without using any premium currency, and then there's also a base management of sorts. Characters can be assigned to rooms and produce money, experience, or even strengthen their own skills. And if that's not enough, the gameplay loop is actually fun right from the start, where in most gacha games, you can expect to breeze through most of the content at the very start. Arknights takes a 180 and kicks your butt if you mismanage your first character placement. There are tons of challenging missions to go through, and some of the events will require you to use your brain power or YouTube tutorials to beat those special challenges. If you especially enjoy growing your characters, you will find that Arknights offers one of the best payoff experiences, since achieving the ultimate form of the character unlocks its own artwork and even changes their look. Finally, let's not forget why most of us are here. Collecting new and exciting characters feels like a rush because the art team really nailed down the art style and created some of the best looking 2D artwork you could ask from a gacha game. From the creators of Candy Crush comes Knighthood. It seems that making billions from a match 3 game is not enough for these guys, so they've decided to create another winning title. This time it's a gacha game. While Candy Crush was your typical uninspired type of game, the same could not be said about Knighthood. From clean and enjoyable graphics to a simple yet exciting gameplay, Knighthood ropes you in from the start. You will travel the lands of fantasy, encountering witches, demons, or even a goblin or two. Fighting your enemies alone is never fun, so you'll be accompanied by other heroes to help you out. On your quest to Knighthood, you will also pick up different weapons along the way, and not only do they look different, they also play different. Use a sword for quick jabs, or resort to a massive axe to slice those pesky goblins away. There's a pretty simple equipment system available in the game that you will need to mix and match in order to combat different foes. Weapons will also get changed pretty frequently in order to exploit those enemy weaknesses. The main attraction of a gacha game, of course, are the heroes. Not only can you unlock them with premium currency, but also work on getting them from daily story missions. So if you have your eyes set on one of the heroes, you'll eventually unlock them without any luck involved. Knighthood is all about preparation before execution. The developer keeps adding on new content monthly, and there's plenty of challenging missions that you'll need to go through in order to become the best knight there is. The recipe to a successful gacha game has always been a strong intellectual property. Take a super popular anime show, put your favorite characters behind a gacha system, and sprinkle some turn-based combat on top. It couldn't get more simple. But while most of the developers are following this recipe to various degrees of success, 7 Deadly Sins is on a whole nother level. It's hard to believe that a game of this caliber came out for mobile devices, but at certain points it looks more of a console game. The first thing that makes 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross approachable to any new player is the story mode. You can go through the whole anime storyline just by watching the in-game cutscenes, which are done extremely well and don't rely on static images, and instead it fully utilizes its own 3D engine. And there's a lot to do for both new and veteran players. It'll take a good amount of time just to clear the story mode, and the new additions get released pretty regularly. Then there's player versus player arena, where you battle your opponents in real time. And of course, let's not forget the gigantic demon boss fights. Each boss requires you to have a different strategy to beat them, and it's always satisfying to take one of them down on extreme difficulty. There's also a ton of customization available to make your anime characters look different from each other, and you can always get more exclusive costumes by participating in special events or battles. So if you're ready to beat some giant demons and wear some cool costumes while doing it, 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross awaits for you. Final Fantasy Tactics left a giant hole in people's hearts, and after decades of emptiness, War of the Visions volunteers itself to fill it by trying to take the mantle of a spiritual successor. There's a war waging between the two kingdoms, while a shadowy figure behind the scenes is plotting an even bigger evil. Recruit legendary heroes from War of the Visions and other Final Fantasy games to determine the fate of the nations. There's a vast amount of different progression systems featured in War of the Visions. From forging the equipment and amplifying vision cards to increasing the strength of your espers and assigning job points to your heroes. This is truly a heaven for the strategy geeks all around the world. But preparation is only half the battle, and the rest takes in an isometric world, just like in Final Fantasy Tactics, where you will unleash powerful limit burst attacks and utilize your heroes' jobs. Speaking of jobs, if you're a fan of them, you'll find that there's a big selection to choose from. Each character comes with its own 3 jobs, and some of them even get their own unique ones. The best part is that you can only pick one job at a time, so there's a lot of experimenting left to the players. And of course, let's not forget what really makes a game be part of the Final Fantasy family, the espers. You've got all your favorite ones such as Shiva and Behemoth, who will make sure to pull you out of dangerous situations. So yeah, War of the Visions has a lot going on and constantly pushes out new updates and events. If you're someone who enjoys strategy games, you'll definitely want to check this title out. Exo's Heroes is one of the prettiest looking 3D mobile gacha games on this list. The story follows a treasure hunter who is a captain of an airship. You explore various fantastical locations and meet a cast of endearing characters. The gacha system features special Fate Core heroes, which are alternate reality versions of themselves. For example, imagine a male muscular hero, but in a different reality, they exist as a little anime girl. Makes you think what your alternate reality version looks like. Now, combat is turn-based, but focuses on puzzle-solving aspects. You need to break enemy guardian stones using different heroes to achieve powerful ultimate attacks. And Exo's Heroes is one step ahead when it comes to farming. You can exit the game and leave it on auto exploration mode, which will generate various resources, including free characters that you will be able to collect once you're back and ready to play. So if you're ready to jump on your airship and explore not just different lands but realities as well, the world of Exo's Heroes awaits for you. Romancing Saga Reuniverse is the true embodiment of the saying that it's not the outside but the inside that counts. The first impression of any video game are the graphics. Luckily, while the graphics are lackluster, the gameplay makes up for it in tenfold. And not just that, the game is also extremely generous in terms of premium currency and summons. Just like the original game series, Romancing Saga Reuniverse takes the old school approach of RPG games. You will be busy raising up to 4 characters at a time until they bloom into powerful heroes that you can take onto more challenging missions. But character leveling is taken on by a whole different approach with the introduction of styles. Each character has several styles which can totally change the way your character levels up and what skills they will use. Mixing and matching these styles is essential to growing a strong character. And you can see for yourself that the game is oozing with 90s nostalgia, from the bombastic music to the outlandish artwork of menu transitions. Even the combat and animations remind you of the more simple times we used to live in. There's a lot to love in this game, especially if you enjoy growing small pixel characters into more deadlier pixel characters. Guardian Tales had been around for quite a while, but only after launching globally did it finally garner the attention of every gacha gamer out there, becoming one of the top smash hits of 2020. While the game has its fair share of grinding, the amount of life and joy this game brings with its story mode campaign makes it all too easy to forget that you're playing a gacha game. You will explore worlds that are similar to the era of old school Zelda games that are full of exciting puzzles and secrets secrets left to uncover. Along the way, you will pick up tons of different weapons and characters that all have their own gameplay styles. And to keep things fresh, the game is chock full of humor and pop culture references. This is a game that will appeal to every gamer's heart, whether they love the gacha or not. Guardian Tales was probably one of the biggest surprise hits this summer, and it shows that even pixel graphics and old school gameplay still have a place in the mobile gaming market. We hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe to our channel, as it does take a while to produce these videos, so your support means everything to us. Also, be sure to check out more of our videos and visit us at gachagamer.com for guides, tier lists, and more.